compete against such a talented TCU team to hoist that Big 12 trophy at the end of the year. Baylor does not look so good right now. They're at the bottom of the standings currently, having a real tough go figuring out their offensive side. So I think for Texas, they feel like tonight's a job they just simply have to get done.
Texas has scored 32 goals to 7 for Baylor. Now the 32 a little deceptive. They had 8 against Texas Southern, but nonetheless, this is a high-scoring outfit. They can hurt you in a lot of areas. Led by Trinity Byers up front with 10 goals right now. Jose Lara Mancia is your referee. Great crowd on hand here at Mike A. Myers Stadium. Pristine field here as usual, and it's game on in Austin, Texas here. Texas and Baylor. And the Longhorns will look to establish possession here early through Carly Allen. Lauren Lapamarta makes her way into the lineup all the way back to Savannah Madden. Madden, beautifully measured pass here to Cameron Brooks. There's Brooks, the 5th-year senior. Miller, Byers, confident building possession here to start it. Shimkin has gotten it wide. Here's McFarland now. Byers making her way in the box. Cross will take a deflection, and just like that, Texas has earned the game's first corner.
And that's a really good preview of how Texas likes to play. They swing it quickly. They find Byers as a target, and then they're joined by Shimkin underneath and those midfielders. And you saw Shimkin send it out wide. Such a talented, possessive style.
Longhorns off the corner, driven towards the 6. Chested down and cleared by Baylor. Nice entry ball into the feet here of Byers. Byers flares it out wide now. McFarland driving to the end line. Cross is blocked. And it'll be another corner here for Texas. So MJ Cox will be allowed to get forward here now. He's got 3 goals on the year. Carly Allen as well. Make that 4 for Cox. Texas. So the 2 center backs will come forward here. Baylor setting up zonally here. Out towards the penalty spot. Cox's header is going through a maze of bodies there, but Lauren Trawick will come up with a save. 6th start for her.
You saw Cox call for it. She rose her hand in the back saying, "Give it to me." She is 5'10". Great target there in the box for the Longhorns. So you got to know that Mackenzie McFarland's going to keep driving in line. If she can't send it across, she'll get a corner.
New staff, new coach for Baylor, longtime coach Paul Jobson stepping down. Michelle Leonard comes in, 14 years at Dallas Baptist in Division II, built a heck of a program there. 200 wins, 77 losses, 26 last year. They got to the semifinals of the NCAA Division II tournament. Struggling to score goals, but I think you have to go right to the absence of Mac Anthony and Taylor Moon. And of course, Jessica, you know the Baylor squad so well.
I think what's really frustrating for Coach Leonard is she was able to bring some of those talented transfers from Dallas Baptist, like Ashley Merrill, who led the team with 15 goals. And in fact, Dallas Baptist had 69 goals last year. So Coach Leonard knows how to get her team scoring. And so it must be really frustrating that it's just not quite clicking yet. But like you mentioned, there's a couple absences that are super impactful.
Brooks, long throw here towards the near post. It's flicked to the back. It's a shooting opportunity, but it's cleared by Baylor. Big intervention there at the last minute from Ashley Merrill. One of those players you were just talking about that transferred with Coach Leonard from Dallas Baptist.
It's almost like a long throw-in on that last play, but look at this challenge from Lapamarta. You and I know she is a tough defender. She likes to get stuck in, and they're high pressing the Longhorns, trying to keep it in their offensive end.
Kaylee Abels here, all Big 12 second team last year. She's one of those 5th-year super seniors. Both teams have them. Additional experience. Here's Cox, a sophomore. She'll go back to Savannah Madden. So to create chances today, if you're Baylor, how do you do that?
I think winning more balls in the middle. I just watched their Oklahoma game that they lost 2-0, and it just seemed like the Sooners outplayed them in the midfield. They won every first ball, every second ball. It just seemed like Baylor was absent in the midfield defensively. I think if they can turn that on its head and be the aggressor, more physical, winning those balls, and then putting them on the floor and finding their players up top, and then Gabby Mueller, who's on the ball right now, joining and helping, I do think they have a chance to get some opportunities on goal.
Well, here's one way to get it. You win the ball back quickly through counter pressure, so the game's first great chance here comes to Baylor. And the pressing game may be the way to get your chances today, but with that, you have opened the game up here a little bit for Trinity Byers. Regan towards Holly Ward. That'll go out. The two Canadians trying to link up there. Let's go back to that pressing opportunity.
And Baylor's known for this. They might not have a lot of possession. In fact, they only had a minute of possession so far, but they will press and get turnovers and be physical and try and capitalize on those few chances.
That was Blythe Obar, the holding midfielder, who stepped in there, won a ball, and it turned into an immediate chance. Jenna Patterson here working against 2 or 3 Longhorn defenders. Cameron Brooks there battling away. The left back for Texas. She's got a goal and 3 assists on the year. Another one of those 5th-year players, and she's out of Round Rock, Texas, right down the road. At this stage of the season, if you're Baylor coming in at 2-5-2, I mean, this is a really good measuring stick for you.
Oh, yeah, and I think every single game they know it's about getting better. And the truth is most teams in this conference are going to make make that Big 12 conference tournament at the end of the year. So even if you aren't playing great, if you can finish in the top 8, you're going to be in a chance, you know, to get into that postseason.
Long diagonal ball. Madden's going to have to come into attention here and get off her line. She collects it. Boy, when Texas looks back in between the pipes to see a goalkeeper of the quality of Savannah Madden, it is a beautiful thing. She's got 4 shutouts on the year. Cox. Ball cut out there by Obar. Green Sage. Good push here from Baylor. And they'll get a second shot on goal. That was Mueller jumping out of midfield there with a goal and assist on the year.
Mueller, Glenn, wasn't even starting at the beginning of the year. She was kind of a mainstay last year, but Coach Leonard was really trying some things out with Ashley Merrill really taking that spot in the midfield with Maddie Algie. So she's also trying to figure out the midfield combination too. It's not just her forwards. She pretty much settled in quickly with her back line, but she's just trying to find the best chemistry for Baylor still. At this point in the season, they've got to try to gel a little bit better, create more chances, because they're not going to have too many more opportunities to get those points going into the postseason.
No, for right now, they're definitely making it a test for Texas to play out of their higher pressure here, and it is causing a few problems here in the early minutes of this one. Regan's fouled. It'll be a free kick for the Longhorns. Angela Kelly saying, look, with Lexi Missimo out, it's her opportunity now to provide an impact as a teammate, and one that isn't playing now. But has to be frustrating for Lexi Missimo out with the leg injury. Brooks called for the foul. Free kick, Baylor. A little staggered start here for the Longhorns, not able to find their normal rhythm here.
Just not as crisp as normal, and the passes just are a little bit off. Sometimes it does take a few minutes to get that, and also the pace of play is a little slow, and I think that's why Baylor's been able to hop on some of these and win the ball off them pretty easily.
Longhorns scoring 2.91 goals a game, almost 3 goals per game on average. Madden came, went back, second ball, picked up at the top of the box. It's Beasley. And again, the higher pressure now. Is there space in midfield here? Yes, there is. Off and running is Texas. There's a good run on the far side of the field from Holly Ward. Is she going to be able to get there? In the end, it's tackled away there by Kohlberg. But if that press is broken, boy, they can get off and running, the Texas Longhorns.
I thought it was interesting on our phone call, Glenn, with Coach Leonard, that she says, I don't really care if they get, I want us to press and I want us to play. We're not going to bunker. We're going to grow and learn from these good, talented teams. So don't expect them to sit back, Baylor. They're not going to do that. They're going to press forward and take some risks.
Switch of play, McFarland now. Tried to bring in Ashlyn Miller. Yeah, she made it really clear. You know, we're trying to win games. We're not trying to tie games, trying to win games. We have to be selective when we press and try to catch Texas in moments when maybe they're overcommitted going forward. But it's a good plan. I don't think there are many teams these days that are really sitting back on their 18 for entire games.
Well, it's not fun to play that way, you know.
Yeah, who wants to go to that program?
Oh, and as a coach too, like that's not really fun to coach either. So, you know, I think at this level, when there's so much parity as well in the Big 12, I think it's reasonable to take some chances, even if the team you're playing is ranked like a Texas team, and they're the ones that have all the pressure. They're the ones expected to win and perform.
Yeah, Michelle Leonard also saying, you know, that look, this is a team that in the future we want to have a little bit more control of games with the ball. Here's Holly Ward now. She's found space. Kohlberg trying to get back. Ward, Byers top of the box now. Game kind of slows down with her. Regan has made a good run. Regan over the top. So the holding midfielder joining in, getting ahead of Trinity Byers, the striker.
See here, Byers just holding the ball up nicely, being patient till someone joins her, and it's Regan who gets her left foot around that and just gets under it a little bit. But I love that Ashlyn Miller sunk in for Regan, allowed her to go forward. That's what makes teams unpredictable and hard to defend, is if you exchange positions and you're more dynamic on your attack, it's really tough to defend, and that's what was able to get Regan some space.
There is Emma Regan, 2 goals and an assist, real leader on this team, has represented Canada. Last year was all Big 12 second team. And tonight, a 69th straight start for Emma Regan, who that tells you how durable she is. Nothing like having a dependable player that's not injury prone, that can play a variety of positions. Brooks. Shimkin whips it in. Redirected wide.
Pace on this cross, just whips it in left foot. Almost took Holly Ward there by surprise, I think, as she was crashing into the 6, just trying to redirect it past Trawick there into the back of the net.
Had that remarkable control with 3 defenders around him in a first touch to get in behind TCU and then square it back to Holly Ward for their lone goal at TCU in that 1-1 draw. That was a big result. Lexi Missimo going off after 18 minutes, and then to go up to Texas Tech and get a 2-0 victory in that one, with Tech coming out and really pressing the game early. Another big result. So very, very positive results on the road to start it off for Texas. There's a giveaway. Getting dragged down there was Mueller. There's no call. It's still Baylor here, who have won the ball in a couple of very good positions here in the first half. Those 7 goals on the year, that's all for Baylor in 9 games. Michelle Leonard made it very clear to us, you know, we have gotten into some decent positions. Yes, we have to create more chances, but we have also not executed.
There have been a few that have been point blank that Baylor should have put away. But I do think, like she said, they just need more chances, period. They're just too too few and far between, especially against good teams. And then I think for her, it's more the quality of the chance. It seems like a lot of half chances going through the box. She wants more possession in and around the box, so the chance is very clear and close, you know, and it's almost a sure thing. They just can't seem to get inside the 18 very well.
It's going to be a tough night tonight because Texas is one of the better possession teams in the country, so it's going to be a little bit different here. Here's Holly Ward now. She's got 2 goals on the year. Really looks sharp. I think in her last couple of games, this is the best we've seen of her in her sophomore year. Kohlberg stepped in. Going to be a free kick. Regan called for the foul there. And again, we have to remind people, 2 freshmen starting in the front 3 for Baylor. No goals out of the front 3 in the starting lineup here today. And Mac Anthony, their real number 9, who had 8 goals last year, out injured, as well as Taylor Moon. And those are names you know so very well, having called a lot of their games, that are really synonymous with this program.
I think Moon especially, she has so much speed, and that's kind of this historic part of this Baylor team is their right outside mid, Reagan Paget, players like that were like track stars. So much speed, and so what Moon could do is just get up the field and get across into the box, finding Mackenzie Anthony there as the 9, or she would get corners.
Treywick has come off her line a little bit hesitant there, but gets it away, and now it's Baylor in possession here. And we also forget to mention Elizabeth Koyman as well, a very, very talented attacking player.
We might see her come off the bench here tonight, but just has struggled to get it going. She was a little bit inconsistent in the past, and this year just can't seem to find that rhythm. And but she's dangerous really from 30 yards plus out. So she's one of those players that you just can't count out. If she comes off the bench, she can be scary with that right foot.
Koyman played 52 minutes in the 2-0 loss to Oklahoma. These 2 teams last year in Waco, it was a 0-0 draw. But a new coach, new ideas, different formations, fighting through a period of that's kind of devoid of goals here. And we all know the power of goals and how they can lift teams. But tonight, a wonderful test against Texas for Baylor. This is Carly Allen to take the free kick. Towards Ward. Ward brought it down, goes to her left, cuts the ball back to the far post. Her delivery has improved remarkably this year, Holly Ward. Wonderful crowd.
Take a look at this as Ward just kind of passes it to herself. Left-footed chip, and it just really got a little too much air, I think. And McFarland there wasn't crashing that back post. But this is their game plan. They like to get those speedy players like McFarland, like Ward out wide, and then try to find the other 2 forwards in and around the box. And then be aware that there's usually 1 or 2 center mids crashing at the top of the PK area there. They're going to try and score as well.
So Baylor has made a change here, and we did get word that potentially they may tonight, use a lot of substitutes here. Try and challenge the Texas Longhorns in this one. But I would say if you're Baylor, you're feeling pretty good about the start of this game on the road here.
Well, especially compared to how they started against Oklahoma in their last game. They just came out very flat against Oklahoma. Didn't really look like themselves at all. Turned it around quite a bit in the second half. They played much better, but I think they're pretty disappointed by that performance. So I'm sure they came out here tonight saying, hey, we're going to take it to Texas.
Yeah, that was Renetta Vargas who just came on. She's a freshman from Capel, Texas. Regan. Ward is really pulled out wide here. Regan trying to drive it forward out of midfield. Here's Trinity Byers. And she gets stripped there. Good defending there from Haley Augustin. Byers, Ward. Patterson driving it across the field. Merrill. Kohlberg. And she's going to clip it in towards the box. Chested down beautifully by Baylor. A decent sequence for them here. One of their best of the game. Finally, Emma Regan wins it back. There's something on here in transition. There always is if you get it to the feet of Trinity Byers, who can roll defenders. She lays it off. Right now having a tough time getting her engines revved. She's only had 4 touches inside the penalty area so far.
When you know that's a big key, perhaps the #1 key on the whiteboard for Coach Leonard is we're going to defend Byers touch tight across the field, almost like player-to-player marking, and then we're going to double team her whenever we can. So that's something that Kaylee Abels, the senior defender in that center back, is going to have to lead the charge on, because she's surrounded by 2 freshmen, the sisters, the Augustin sisters. So we forget, too, that the back line of Baylor is also very young. 2 freshmen on that back line. Abel Kohlberg on the right is a sophomore. So it's up to Abels to really dictate that back line for the team.
Yeah, she's a 5th-year senior. Augustin, the 2 Augustin sisters, freshmen, and as Jessica mentioned, Kohlberg, a sophomore. But it's been a positive start for Baylor here. Cross set will go in, and calling off her defenders there wisely is Savannah Madden. Had the shutout against Texas Tech. She's got a 1.02 goals against average, 4 shutouts on the year for Madden. But as we've so often heard, there are no easy games in the Big 12. And without Lexi Missimo, you're missing your tempo setter, the player that you really look to play through, who involves others and takes the pressure off people, attracts and draws attention. There's a lot of dynamics that you lose without her on the field here today.
It does feel like they're missing a bit of her possession tempo. She just moves into space and asks for the ball constantly, no matter where it is on the pitch. And then she changes the point of the attack, turns and faces up, plays Byers in, and of course has these years and years with Trinity Byers, having grown up and played together. So they just have this chemistry and connection. They know where each other's going to be. So it is kind of a hole there, but I do think that they're going to try and figure out, hey, how can we keep the ball just a little bit better in terms of sharpness? But you can see, like, Byers doesn't really have anybody right now underneath her that she can find.
She got doubled up, but jumping in there was Ashlyn Miller. It's Byers now. Ward is on out wide. She's going to use Holly Ward. Here's Ward now. Played in the under-20 FIFA Women's World Cup. Here is Shipkin. Let's fly. That'll go off the outside of her right foot and wide. But Jilly Shipkin needs to step up here for Texas.
I like that shot, though. It was a really good shot. Got a hold of the ball nicely, looking for that far corner, and it just hit underneath on that right side, and so that's why it kind of curved away from the goal instead of curved in toward that upper 90. But I think that's what you get when you have a player like Trinity Byers, is all those white jerseys suck in on her around the box, and it leaves some other people open. So can Texas find those people open around the box?
It's a good look there at Lexi Missimo. It's like her right ankle is all wrapped up there. That's a big one to put a circle on, you know, when she comes back, because such an integral part of this team, one of the best players in the country, and one that can bring ideas and, of course, that wonderful skill set.
But the good news is it sounds like she is going to come back soon. It's not a season-ending injury. She is going to work her way back in pretty quickly into the Big 12. So that's really good news, whereas Taylor Moon, Mackenzie Anthony on the other side for Baylor, much longer out for the season. So I think it is encouraging that that ankle injury wasn't worse than it is.
So So we mentioned Elizabeth Koyman. She has just come on. Again, she played 52 minutes against Oklahoma. She is a senior from San Jose, California. Cameron Brooks has the weapon of the long throw. Comes in towards the 6. It's a chance here for McFarland, and boy, goalkeeper Lauren Trawick went down. It dribbles into her hands gratefully.
Cam Brooks throws in the box, and you see posting up, Trinity Byers just flicks it on, lands right to McFarland. What a touch that is. That's such a brilliant touch. And well covered there by Kaylee Abels, who just gets enough pressure on this that kind of ricochets and slows down so Trawick can carry it into her arms.
Byers continues to come deep to get it. It's Holly Ward. Thought she was going to hit that first time with her right foot. She'll play it to Shimkin. Shimkin, Byers, how quickly she can get turned and face a defense here. Byers trying to thread the needle there to Cameron Brooks, and cleared by Baylor. So that time Trinity Byers turning into the wonderful playmaker that we also know she's capable of being.
Very patient in and around the box. And there's just so many white jerseys behind the ball. And that's something I think Coach Leonard talked to Baylor about after that Oklahoma game. They really struggled to get back behind the ball. They're doing a much better job of that tonight. As soon as they lose it, they're dropping in, trying to keep the play in front of them.
Cox, Ashlyn Miller now. Miller's second on the team with 5 assists. Here's Emma Regan. Texas in possession. Jilly Shimkin. Holly Ward. Ward twisting, turning, changing direction, trying to create a window of space, and some great determined defending there by Ava Kohlberg. Ticking down towards 18 minutes here in the first half. You see the Samba band there in the bleachers. Great special on them at halftime. You're not going to want to miss. Really, really interesting. We've seen that in my Austin FC games as well. Wonderful package on the Austin Samba group, as that one picked off by Lauren Trawick. And we'll have a Big 12 soccer update as well. There's other games going on here tonight. It comes quick, it comes fast, and the next thing you know, you're all the way into the conference tournament. Ball in the box. There's a finish. Texas goes up. Who else but Trinity Byers? They'll take a 1-0 lead here. A much-needed goal where they have staggered a little bit out of the gates here. But their star center forward has rescued them. 11th on the year for her. Longhorns are up.
Well, there's a reason that she is #1 on the keys to stop, is because she is so good at dribbling in tight spaces and then just finishing with sophistication. She doesn't overpower it. She doesn't kill the ball. She just tries to beat the keeper. She looks up and slips it in clinically. That's why she is the leading goal scorer in the Big 12 right now and has been the Offensive Player of the Week 2 weeks in a row. She has just found her rhythm here in her sophomore season and is just on fire lately.
She's just wrecking defenses. She collected that ball deep, and I think what we have to recognize, yeah, Texas collectively can build things up and produce goals. They've also got individuals who can just do it on their own. Not every team has that.
Well, and they're unpredictable. I think that dribbling just shows she's kind of, you can't really read her body language very well. She's so quick with her feet to cut it. You can't really see her hips turning. So it's kind of hard to defend. You're not really sure what she's going to do. And they do have quite a few players like that. They're just hard to read. They're more unpredictable. And the best teams in the country have those types of players.
When you look at it in the context of tonight, you wouldn't say it's been the perfect start for Texas. Baylor has done some good things here. They've created 2 good chances of their own that you might have said they could have finished or should have finished. And then your star center forward, who's only a sophomore, who's got 3 game winners on the year, provides a beautiful individual moment and puts you in the lead.
Yeah, that's soccer for you. How many times have we seen that, right? And it feels like it's almost against the play. I mean, Baylor really has picked up a little more of the possession, and it's much closer to being even now because Texas is struggling to connect cleanly with each other. But like you said, when you have the best players in the country, and Lexi Misimo, Trinity Byers, they were the top recruits of that class coming in last year. So when you have those players and they're special, they're going to step up, and that's what you want. And that's why you brought them to Texas, is to do those things.
By the way, Sydney Nobles also made her way on for Texas. So it's a 28th minute goal from Trinity Byers. Beautiful solo effort, which is how Texas has scored their last 3 goals. Her goals against Texas were one women shows as well.
Well, and that's what's so scary, is even putting Byers on the board and saying, hey, we're going to touch tight on her everywhere across the field. We'll double team her when we can. We'll triple. The best players, that doesn't matter. You can put as many players on them as you want. I always think of the greatest basketball players that are double teamed, and it doesn't matter. They figure out how to get out of it, shoot, and score. She's one of those players. There's not a whole lot you can do, but try your best to stop her.
Emma Regan now, who is in full flight here. Nobles gets a cross in towards the back post, headed away by Baylor. Second ball. Texas will get it back. It's his Holly Ward now. Game's first goal again to the Longhorns. A wonderful luxury. Baylor now trying to build it up. This is good work here from Baylor. Some of their subs in there. Into the box comes Koyman. There's some contact with Lapamarda. She was tracked beautifully. And it's Savannah Madden now.
Lapamarda's tight. You can see her tracking Koyman here's run. Good job by Lapamarda. And then she gets stuck in, but I don't see her getting the ball there, Glenn. So I think she might have gotten away with a bit of a shield there. Obstruction in the box, just shielding out Koyman as they collided.
Like that angled run from Koyman to try and kind of jackknife her way into the penalty area, provided a good option. It was a good laid on ball as well. Regan battling there. Angela Kelly lauding that battling spirit of Texas over the course of their first 2 Big 12 conference games.
See Merrill here going toe-to-toe with Ashlyn Miller, and then Regan steps in to help out. And then just late there in the toe poke tackle is Merrill from behind, getting all of Regan.
You got Maddie Algie out there also now for Baylor. Here's Ward now. Ward curling a good ball back. Who's there? It's an opportunity over the top. Holly Ward, the architect there, pulled a beautiful ball back, got a trailing run. And Holly Ward continuing to impress here.
Here's actually that yellow card on Ashley Miller. You can see her frustration. The ball was clearly past her as Regan was going off on the dribble, and then she just takes out Regan's legs.
So that's Ashley Merrill, who has gone off, and now the talented freshman Liz Warden comes on for Holly Ward. Three goals, 4 assists on the year for Liz Warden. Took over the center forward role in the absence of Trinity Byers when she was off with the U.S. Women's Under-20 national team at the FIFA U20 Women's World Cup in Costa Rica. Byers Oh, it's a beautiful ball there. But she had eyes in the back of her head there. Emma Regan. Here's Shimkin now driving in. Ward peeling off to her left. Byers, nice 1-2 there. Still Shimkin. She gets shouldered off it by Baylor, and Baylor now tries to build things. Spinning out of there was Obar. Much more positive first half for Baylor, though, than the Oklahoma game.
Yeah, I think they just look better across the board, really. They look better offensively, better defensively as well. They seem to have just more fire in them. They just seemed really out of it, just uncharacteristic against Oklahoma. Sometimes it happens, once a year or so. You just don't have it that night, and luckily for them it was just that first half. They played much better the second half, but I do like their pace of play, and like you said, they're making some nice dynamic runs too in behind. They're really checking and showing for each other. Look at this period of possession.
Tremendous build up here. They're going to try to find a player at the top of the box. It's a shot that's blocked there by Brooks, who tucked in. But some good approach play here from Baylor. Warden now. Warden has won it back, shields it, holds it up, and Shimkin tried to knock it forward. Warden here trying to get a tackle in, making it difficult for Baylor to get out, and going back to her goalkeeper is Sarah Horniak. Treywick now. Cameron Brooks. MJ Cox drives it forward. Comes right back to Carly Allen now. And it's Lapamarda. So it's going to be a free kick here. So it's a free kick for Baylor now, and standing over it, Callie Abels, 5th year out of Waco, Texas. She'll drive it forward. It's headed by Cameron Brooks. The second ball here, who's going to get there and be a quick Baylor throw in. Maybe too quick. Spinning off the turn here and trying to turn it back there. The idea was good. In the end, Olivia Mack couldn't get it over. But again, a very, very positive first half here. If you're Baylor and you're a first-year coach at this organization and at this university, and you're trying to build things for the future here, you got to think this is pretty solid, good 45 minutes here for Baylor against one of the best teams in the country in number 21, Texas.
Well, and her entire front five is different from the starting lineup. So we've got 3 totally different forwards in from our starters. And then Maddie Algie as well is in that attacking mid role. So she's giving some players opportunities here. And you saw a great turn from Olivia Mack up top. So she's giving players chances. I mean, a lot of times coaches don't sub, hardly at all, 1 or 2. And as a bench player, you feel like, oh, when am I going to get my chance? Leonard is giving her players a chance to prove themselves and try and earn those starting spots.
But they've had some wonderful moments of possession, like right now, and this one in the end is given away by Koyman. But you have to say they've had some sequences of 6, 7, 8 passes that have moved them up the field, got them into the final third. And how about Texas's performance so far? We'll get back to that in a second because it's just at the moment of truth cleared here by MJ Cox. It's Baylor still in possession. And they are really gaming up for it here tonight. And this is not a good sign you want to see here. Emma Regan is down here and in a little bit of trouble. The senior from Burnaby, Canada, played at the Vancouver Whitecaps program. You know, such an important piece, fundamental to this midfield.
You see here the hitting the ball at the exact same time with Maddie Algie. A lot of times that can really make your ankle go back, makes your whole leg go back, can hurt your knee too. We've seen MCLs, things like that happen when you collide at the exact same time on that ball.
Well, it's a midfield already without one of the most talented players in the country in Lexi Missimo. And this is another fundamental piece. In fact, very fundamental to Lexi Missimo's game.
The good news for Coach Kelly is she has a player in her center defense that has very good experience in that holding mid position, which is Carly Allen. So she has this year also moved Carly Allen into the midfield and played some other backs. We've seen Brianna Thompson come in on the back line. So I think that's something that's a possibility, is she might decide to move Allen into that holding mid position for Regan and then add a different defender like Thompson in the back.
So Emma Regan's going to be walked off here.
Well, that's a good sign, right? That she's putting weight on it. She's not limping there. That is not something we saw with Missimo in the TCU game. Missimo tried to get up and just could not put weight on it at all. Knew she was done for at least the day. So this is definitely a good sign for Regan that she's able to come off on her own volition there. Maybe Coach Kelly's going to play that holding mid position.
Well, she was a pretty combative midfielder in her day at UNC and for the Canadian national team.
It looks like Regan's going to try to go back in, finish out the half if she can.
Why is that not surprising?
She's really tough.
Out and out leader, according to Angela Kelly. Came in at the same time as Julia Grosso. Canadian youth national team experience, has been capped by the full team. Julia Grosso now at Juventus in Italy. Left college early. Baylor trying to make some things happen here. That was Finney knocking it inside. Well, the level of composure here is just remarkably different from the game against Oklahoma for Baylor.
Well, they started off that game against Oklahoma in a different formation. They were much more aggressive, playing a three-back, trying to get more numbers forward to help out, get goals on offense, and they were just too exposed, and it resulted in an Oklahoma goal. So they went back to their four-back, and it calmed things down quite a bit, and then they were able to kind of be themselves again in the second half. But ultimately, those freshmen alongside Kaylee Abels, they don't play like freshmen. The Augustin sisters are very composed. Coach Leonard is high on them, saying they don't act like freshmen at all. She has all the confidence in the world in those two.
It's a shot that'll trickle in here, driving it out of midfield that time, and ending up with that shot. For Baylor was Olivia Mack from Manhattan Beach, California. She's a junior. Direct over the top, it's Byers. Off her line is Treywick. And there's always the direct route to Trinity Byers. That's another way you can hurt opponents. Baylor now. Mack. There's Koyman coming in. Oh, it forces a huge save from Madden. Koyman again with that central run coming from a wide position, outside in, nearly ties it up for Baylor.
See here, Algie faces up, had space to turn, and then a quick touch to herself. Koyman curls it into that corner, but just not far enough away from Madden, who had enough paw on it to get it over the crossbar.
There's always Savannah Madden if you get breached. Baylor off the corner now, riding. Great build-up and a great opportunity there for Koyman. They get the ball in, off the post. The second effort goes over the top. So Baylor nearly tying it up here. A great sequence for them. And they are riding a bit of confidence here tonight.
They look like a totally different team than played against Oklahoma. I mean, you saw two players get on that ball. Before it would just maybe go through the box, but they really seem like they want to score. It's just a different mentality. They're taking it to Texas. They're going to bring everything, the kitchen sink if they have to. Kaylee Abel's the center back, trying to just knee it into the goal.
Here's Nobles now, but you got to be careful because you want to remain within a striking distance of a goal. They have come close to tying things up. This is Hannah Augustin. It's a switch of play now. It was Sarah Horniak wearing number 2, the junior from Southlake, Texas, again from Solar. Had a lot of players on these two teams from Solar and Sting. Brooks now. MJ Cox. Lapomarda. Carly Allen now, and center backs for Texas getting some pretty quick pressure from Baylor here tonight. They also had 2 good chances off pressing play. Under 3 minutes left here in the first half. Glenn Davis, Jessica Stamp. Hope you're enjoying Baylor and Texas here on LHN. Beautiful night for women's college soccer, and a big, big crowd on hand here. This may be the biggest crowd of the year. Horniak picks the right pass here. Baylor have advanced it nicely now. Cross is going to be mishit after some good work to move the ball up the field and get into the final third of Texas. That was Kylie Finney, another freshman from Chantilly, Virginia. So to your point, Jessica, a lot of freshmen getting really, really valuable experience here.
Well, we mentioned the injuries to Moon and Mackenzie Anthony, but there's also been other injuries to some talented freshmen. So we mentioned Vargas has now come on. She's had some injuries. So they're actually getting back other players on top of other losses that they had. So they're seeing some more people get some minutes tonight as well.
Warden is trying to make her way into the box. The work from Nobles out wide. Miller works a 1-2 with Shimpkin. MJ Cox is going to get there first, and she's going to play back to the feet of Savannah Madden here. Remember, Madden came up with a huge save on Elizabeth Koyman, or it would be 1-1 right now. Lapomarda. And And this is Lauren Trawick, the junior from Austin, Texas, who's got 2 shutouts. First half going to come to an end here. It's a 28-minute Trinity Byers goal. That is the difference so far for Texas. But it is a very game Baylor here that has come in tonight here, shown us some real confidence. I think we would say before tonight, Jessica, that there was a little bit of unpredictability and unknown about what type of Baylor would show up tonight, and a good one has.
I was pretty concerned after that Oklahoma game. They just didn't seem like they were going in the right direction. But this is very encouraging. This looks more like the team that started off the year very hungry, getting after it. That's what Baylor's known for, is that type of energy, that type of play. And to do it away from Waco is pretty impressive.
How about some thoughts on Texas?
I think it just needs to be fast.
Texas with a 1-0 lead as we get set to start the second half here. Your referee is Jose Lara Mancia. We are in the low 80s here tonight. Absolutely gorgeous conditions here as Michelle Leonard, in her first year at Baylor, has to be happy with the first 45 minutes. Can they claw their way back into this and get a result? Game on here in the second half. Regan's going to drive this one long into the Baylor half of the field. Back to Cameron Brooks now. So Baylor picking up where they started off, confident with the ball at their feet. Definitely putting a high value on it. Direct ball over the top. And it goes out for a Texas throw in here. It was Olivia Mack, the target, who remains on here to start the second half for Baylor. Regan trying to jumpstart the Texas attack here early in the second half. It's Holly Ward on the far side of the field. Had a couple of very good moments getting isolated, taking on defenders, Jessica.
Well, I wonder if the speed of Ward is what Coach Leonard feels she needs to add Horniak on that side for Baylor, replacing Ava Kohlberg on that side, although Kohlberg's very fast as well.
Into the box here, Texas trying to threaten. It'll go out for the corner. It's Holly Ward again, so she has earned some corners here. It'll be Shimpkin to go take it. Stepped up beautifully in the Texas Christian University game, Jilly Shimpkin. That incredible assist to Holly Ward after a beautiful first touch to evade 3 defenders. So she will take the set pieces, normally taken by Lexi Missimo. Another element of the game you lose without Missimo on the field, your person who takes your set pieces and your corners. Madden came up with a huge save in the first half on Elizabeth Koyman. Carly Allen, she's going to bypass midfield here. Shimpkin. Got stripped. Baylor now breaking out. This is a real driving, powerful run there coming out of midfield from Blythe Obar, who's a junior from Frisco. Comes from Dallas Baptist University, transferring over with the coach, Michelle Leonard. And boy, she's having a very good game here tonight. Also had a good chance in the first half after some pressing play. Kaylee Abels hit the post off a corner. McFarland tracking back defensively there against Augustin, Hannah Augustin, and she's only a freshman, so some very talented freshmen on Baylor.
Well, I think that's a key for Baylor, is getting their backs forward. Horniak last year was so good at doing that on her side. And if you can get Augustin to go forward too, and even one of the center backs to push forward and help out on offense, I think that's something Baylor has done really well historically. And we just haven't seen quite enough of it this year. They just have been staying home quite a bit.
Angela Kelly is saying this was more about Texas than Baylor. And of course, many have stepped up in the absence of Lexi Missimo, but there is definitely tonight not that normal rhythm we see with the Texas team when Alexi Missimo is in a lineup.
She just moves so much. Whoever has the ball, she checks to and tries to get it out of her feet. She doesn't get it, she peels out and then tries to get it from the next person who has the ball. She's just constantly moving to get the ball and keep that rhythm going.
Baylor, dangerous set piece here to the back post. And Texas will get the throw in. Who needs to step up a little bit more? Obviously Emma Regan, but is Jilly Shimkin producing that game like she did against TCU here tonight?
I think the problem for Texas is that they're not being able to find Byers. They're not being able to find Shimkin. They're being marked so tightly by Baylor that they just can't seem to get it to their feet. And so it's kind of like they're playing all around those playmakers. I mean, Trinity Byers only had touched the ball something like 8 times, a couple times in the box before she got her goal. She's just not touching the ball enough. So I think that's the key for them, is they need to have a bit more movement so they get the ball more at their feet and can play make.
Well, Byers' goal came from her collecting a ball very, very deep. She had 11 touches in the first half, 4 in the box. You would want her in and around the box, getting more touches with the ball. But that said, she still has the game's lone goal. Has it been an inability to deal with the pressure, too, of Baylor today?
I think so. They can't really get out of it very well and find those players or keep it long enough to find those players. The pressure is really good from Baylor. They're just reading the game really well, anticipating, and they're so tight on Texas that they're kind of bumping them, and it's causing these kind of miscues, play that's a little bit off in terms of their passes. So yeah, credit to Baylor. Their defense has been really sharp tonight.
MJ Cox now. Boy, just a steady center back. She's only a sophomore. MJ Cox coming into tonight, leading Texas in minutes played with 990. And of course, 4 goals as a center back at this point in the season is a nice return. Shimkin eluding the pressure to Holly Ward now. Here's Ward towards the end line, trying to turn the corner. Ward, it went over the end line, or did it? Out for the goal kick. Holly Ward trying to go around that last defender and has been a real live wire out wide here tonight.
This is her job as one of that wide wingers, is to push it toward that end line. But you can see there, Gustin just trying to guide her out of bounds. Real tight once again. Just not a lot of space out there for Texas tonight.
Kohlberg has had a very good game. She's only a sophomore. Started all 19 games as a freshman last year. Again, it's a Baylor program that has a new coach in Michelle Leonard, who comes over after 14 years at Dallas Baptist in Division II. Took them to the semifinals of the national championship last year. Cox will break this up and just decides to clear it. Offside flag is up on Byers. It's not the first time in Austin for Baylor. They played in that early season tournament, beating Florida, losing to the University of North Carolina. Obar. Here's Obar again now. been impressive. Nice little change of speed there. Works a give and go. It's Obar now near the top of the box. Doesn't seem like much of adjustment for her to come to the NCAA Division I level from Division II. Really been a good player here tonight. Here's Byers. This is where she can be dangerous. Running out of defense here. She's brought in Emma Regan. Regan's got McFarland. Plays in McFarland here. McFarland against Augustin. Cross there from Lapamarta. Picked off. Flying through the air there is Lauren Treywick. Texas leads the all-time series with Baylor. 16 wins, 9 losses, 5 draws. But a level of confidence really shown on the ball here today by Baylor. Koyman. Byers coming back defensively. Again, just showing you another aspect of her game, but to be fair, she's been starved of the ball a little bit here today.
Often that happens when you don't touch the ball. So I'm going to go get the ball so that I can touch the ball again.
Here's Koyman, who can make things happen off the dribble. Still Koyman. She's going to get a cross in. That's not a bad ball. Goes to the back post. This is Jenna Patterson now for Baylor against Cameron Brooks. She'll get a crossing. Brooks to Holly Ward, those two holding down that left side of the field for Texas. One back here by Baylor. This is Mueller. They don't seem to be going away. Baylor's got 55% of the possession here in the second half. Jenna Patterson, another one of the transfers from Dallas Baptist University. Horniak off the throw. Another decent looking cross. Madden the tester there, but easily collects that. Bread and butter for her. Koyman. Abels. This is Obar now. Advances it forward. Still Baylor. Merrill tried to switch the play. It's headed away by Brooks. Texas absorbing a lot of pressure here. You would have thought it would be the other way here in the second half, but here comes Holly Ward now in full flight. Tackled away and getting in on a good tackle there. Allie Augustin.
And Baylor's just the one that's dealing with pressure better. They're solving pressure and then keeping the ball, switching it, getting out of trouble. Whereas Texas, when they get the ball, they seem to be very isolated. They're not really helping each other or showing for each other. And so then it's kind of a 1v1 situation. And then Baylor wins the ball back. So that's Texas got to take a cue from Baylor in that they've got to show for each other, have more options so that they can keep the ball.
Yeah, Baylor's making Texas defend here. They've gotten a good play into a center forward. And a shot in the end is going to be handled by Savannah Madden, but that effort coming in off Elizabeth Koyman, who since she has come on has created some real good chances here.
What's different about her play tonight is she has been coming interior quite a bit. We've seen those slashing runs in behind, but there she came underneath. Typically, she kind of just hangs wide and tries to really stretch the field and find some space in the flank. But her mixing it up and coming inside has really helped Baylor in terms of kind of getting numbers around the ball and helping keep the ball.
And let's not forget, it was a similar type run in the first half that led to a shot that really forced a huge save from Savannah Madden. But they are making Texas defend for longer periods of time here tonight. Some of the numbers on Savannah Madden, outstanding goalkeeper, 5th year, one of those super seniors. Sydney Nobles has come on for Texas. She played 17 minutes in the first half, so getting an entry here a little bit earlier in the second half. McFarland off the throw. And it's one back. Again, it's Blythe Obar, who's been one of the star players of this match here tonight. Baylor now, top of the box. It's a long-range hit, and it's going to be handled in the end. Algie with the shot. Madden had a good look at it all the way. Brooks now. Really are just missing the finish here tonight.
Really good movement. Great ball here across to Algie, who has tons of space. Hits the middle of the ball pretty nicely, leaning back a little bit so it takes some of that pace off of it. But you see it curl right into the arms there of Savannah Madden. And you're right, it's just that finishing shot that they're missing, and they're missing their top 2 goal scorers from a year ago. They've just got to find a way to get a little bit closer, I think.
That is Mackenzie Anthony and Taylor Moon. Combined 12 goals between those two last year and 4 assists. Here's Koyman. Koyman has created some problems here. Tucking in there and clearing it is Brooks. This is Nobles now. Obar again, wearing number 13, has really been impressive in central midfield here today for Baylor.
This is the best game I've seen her play all year. I've seen Baylor a lot this year. She's just been all over the place today. And I wonder if Coach Leonard really challenged her midfield after that Oklahoma performance and said, hey, we've got to step up a bit. We've got to be energetic in the middle. We've got to be constantly moving.
Cameron Brooks stepping in. Texas really struggling to get a good rhythm going here. Have a 1-0 lead here. 28th minute goal from Trinity Byers. This is Holly Ward now. Ward going at Horniak. Still Holly Ward. Cuts it back on her left and then cleared by Baylor here. Texas coming in leading conference in all attacking statistics. Holly Ward in some of the best time period of her college career has gotten 2 goals in recent times, including one against TCU. Shimkin. Jilly Shimkin now. Oh, this is a great run towards the end line. She squares it back. And that is something we have not seen enough from Shimkin tonight but we know she's capable of beating people off the dribble and getting to the end line. Big win, Regan. Still Regan. Shimkin now. Nobles trying to split 2, tackled away. Here's Koyman now for Baylor. Got her head up and a lot of room here. Great tracking back here by Mackenzie McFarland for Texas on Olivia Mack there.
This is a look at Cam Brooks's ball here that created some danger for Texas, but then ultimately just kind of fell flat.
Nobles has won it back in a good area here for Texas. Ticking down towards 25 minutes left here, tries to square it inside. Baylor has had a good plan here. They have disrupted Texas's tempo and rhythm here today. And they're out shooting the Longhorns at 9-7. And that's a pretty interesting statistic. That kind of validates a good performance here from Baylor, no question. Hit a post. Pretty fair to say they've had the better chances in this game.
I think so. A lot of them have gone right at Madden. 9 shots, 6 of them on goal. Really, it's just those few that were kind of around her, hit the post like you mentioned. But they are getting good looks. They're finding space, and they're getting them on goal, which is good. They're getting their shots on goal. They're actually challenging Madden, even if they are coming straight to her. You never know. She might drop one, bobble one. But that is something that's really encouraging for Baylor and pretty discouraging for Texas, who prides themselves on limiting those shooting opportunities.
So more changes now. Sky Leach will come on, wearing number 5 for Baylor. Off goes Blythe Obar. Well, this is a critical period because you're taking off a really fundamental piece in your midfield in Blythe Obar. And it'll be interesting to see if Baylor can maintain a very good game that they've played tonight in the middle third of the field without Obar out there, who's probably going to get a quick blow and get back on the field. Tackled away by McFarland. She goes up limping. How much of this tonight for Baylor is about, switching their system around a little bit, the motivation of playing a nationally ranked team like Texas in front of a big crowd here?
I think it's a lot of the players coming back as well. There just seems to be this injection of energy as you see this challenge with Mackenzie McFarland just kind of landing awkwardly. That is not where Mackenzie McFarland wants to be on the pitch, is way back there with her defense. She wants to be up the field with Trinity Byers. So something's not going right if she's that deep on the field. She wants to be up playing the attacker, not defending so much. But right now, Baylor is just having more of the possession. It's almost like the first and second half has switched entirely. Baylor has a little bit more than 50% of the possession this half. They just picked up where they left off at the end of the first half and kept it going. Like you said, probably that confidence really built because they played so well the
Here's
first half.
Koyman now off the dribble. It's a long-range hit. That's going to go over the top. Koyman had a little bit of space to run at the heart of the Texas defense. And to your point, Jessica has come central a lot here. Isn't just playing as an out-and-out winger. Had that great chance cutting inside that Savannah Madden had to come up with a huge save, which will definitely make our highlight reel. Here's Holly Ward trying to make the highlight reel too. Breaking down this left side. This is Byers. This is where Baylor's got to be very careful. Nobles goes to her right, has gotten to the end line, picked her head up, hangs it up at the back post, headed away by Baylor. Some good work there from Sydney Nobles. And maybe this is a play that'll energize Texas here to counter the pressure of Baylor with some of their own. Brooks is held up, and in the end, it's good defending there by Horniak.
this started from Trinity Byers kind of penetrating laterally, finding Nobles out wide, and creating that chance. And that was only the second time Byers got a hold of the ball this half.
Koyman will get a shot off. In the end, it's a tame effort. Again, it's those shots from just outside the 18 that just don't have enough power to really challenge Savannah Madden.
No, it is more end-to-end though now, which is exciting, so it's opening up a bit more this game. But like you said, a lot of shots from distance. Madden's tough to beat from distance. Even with her height, she's just got such a great vertical, such a good shot stopper. So they really want to try to penetrate end line, try to get in behind so they can get a little bit closer.
Angela Kelly was talking about how wonderful this week has been for Texas because they could focus simply on this game against Baylor on Friday, and that they're training in the morning from 8:30 to 10 a.m. and kind of getting a great training session in to start your day off, and it kind of models what the professionals do.
Well, that's kind of a complaint, right, of college coaches, is they feel like these weekends are really demanding with 2 games. So many injuries constantly. So to have a weekend with just 1 game, it almost feels like a vacation. It almost feels like a break for your players. They can really just focus on bringing it for this 1 game. And if you're going to use a lot of subs like both these teams have, it's really helpful.
Yeah, Baylor's had 3 straight weeks with just a single game. Savannah Madden has come up with a season-high 7 saves here. Nobles comes off. Warden comes on. The freshman wearing number 12 gets some last-minute instructions there. Ahern has come on. So Angela Kelly has given opportunity to others to try and get a spark here. Byers, Warden. Warden gets across, and it's a dipping ball at the near post. Caused a little bit of trouble there for Lauren Trawick, but she comes up with the save.
They have had some crosses, but Texas has no shots this half. So over halfway through this half, 0 shots for Texas. That's, I think, pretty unacceptable for Coach Kelly.
It's pretty shocking.
It's pretty shocking. That's a long time to go with not a single shot.
And a Trinity Byers as your tip of the spear as a center forward. We're under 20 minutes left here. Main thing here is for Texas to get that result in the Big 12. As they sure had challenges in their first 2 games and got the results. Had the blow of Lexi Missimo going off after 18 minutes. Seems to be an ankle injury. It's been termed a lower leg injury. And to get those results without her, that showed some real character and real backbone.
Oh yeah, and tonight it's looking like if they can get this result, get out of here with the win, that I think would be huge as well, given Baylor's performance.
Ashley Merrill getting set to come back on for Baylor. Again, it's a moment of magic from Trinity Byers in the 28th minute. Coming deep to pick a ball up, beat a few defenders. Incredible finish, change of direction, all the elements of the 2 goals she had at Texas Tech arriving in the goal here tonight against Baylor. It's another thing that just is remarkable about her makeup as a striker, is that ability to change direction with the ball at her feet.
I do think, too, getting that opportunity with the U20 women's national team, you come back from those camps just so much sharper and faster, and you come into your team as you came into Texas and you realize, wow, my game has really risen. And I think we're seeing the results of that in this season. It just makes you such a better player when you're with that caliber of player in camps. And then to go actually play against the talent they did in the tournament, even though the team as a whole didn't perform as well, your game just gets so much better when you get those opportunities.
But we see so many strikers in the college game that over the top with the power and the pace of her, they've got the direct game, but she's got the ability to come back into midfield and pick a ball up, play make, be dangerous in this area here. And not everybody possesses that to the level she does. In fact, very few. Extended possession here for Texas. Brooks is going to try a first-time cross. Flicked on. Here's Byers. Strength and power has won it back. She lays it off. Shot is blocked. Good effort for Texas. It's a good push here for Texas. And Baylor's going to get a free kick here. That's Horniak who's down. So it's the first shot for Texas in the last 43 minutes. So, but it came off some extended possession, some good play in the final third.
But it didn't reach the goal. Baylor's just so organized defensively.
The way you said that made me laugh.
Yeah, they're just, you know, a wall. They're a wall back there. So even if they do get beat, they have so much cover and players behind the ball today. That's really been hard on Texas.
MJ Cox, that's a good diagonal ball. Warden can't control it.
All right, ladies, go ahead, Palmer.
Warden pressing. McFarland wins his back. It's an early ball. It's Shimkin now. Shimkin in possession here. Warden tried to play her back in. Can't. That one's tackled away. Byers. There's Shimkin, who is isolated one-on-one, trying to go along the end line and went out of play. It'll be a goal kick. Despite that, a very good save from Lauren Trawick. And it's pretty fair to say your playmaker tonight is your center forward, who scored the game's lone goal in Trinity Byers.
Yeah, she reminds me of Messiah Bright in that she'll drop in and try to help dictate play around her as well. And actually, I think really helps open things up for her because she'll drop into the middle, lay it off, and then she'll spin and try and get the ball back in behind. So she's almost playmaking for herself if she can find those outlets, though. And I think that's kind of been the issue for Texas is they just don't have enough outlets around her that are open. They're just guarded so tightly by Baylor.
Texas in full flight here. And it's overhit, going to go over the end line. It's kind of a night for Texas. Some unforced errors, the weight of passes maybe at times a little bit too heavy.
I wonder if this matchup is just better for Baylor. It's a 4-3-3 versus a 4-3-3, whereas that Oklahoma game, it was a 4-4-2. And it just seemed like they were so outnumbered in the middle, Baylor, by Oklahoma. They just couldn't seem to get a hold of the ball. It just seems like they were playing with 8 players and Oklahoma's playing with 15. So maybe this matchup, the physical matchup one-on-one, just works way better in Baylor's favor.
Regan is off and running here. She'll play it wide. Brooks. And breaking out here is Baylor, and their final pass. Brooks is going to read that and knock that one back to MJ Cox. To Ward. Ward trying to get turned here. Horniak marking her. And it'll be a Baylor throw-in. Outside of North Carolina, we have not seen a team come in here this year and produce kind of a game where they have controlled Texas to a large degree. Now, granted, that's without Lexi Misimo tonight. It was just such a fundamental piece to this team and to controlling games. But that takes nothing away from what Baylor's doing.
No, but ultimately, it's still Texas 1-0. Baylor's got to figure out a way to get a little further into that 18-yard box. And one of those adjustments that Coach Leonard has made, as you can see, number 17 there on the left, that's Ashley Merrill. So that was her leading goal scorer at Dallas Baptist last year, 15 goals, a team that put up 69 goals last year. She's moved her up top. She's playing a little wide. She hasn't done that a whole lot this year. She's usually more central. So she's put her up there and hoping that there's an opportunity that comes her way.
Her 20 shots leads the team. Of course, it's a step up to the NCAA Division I level in competition. We've seen players like Merrill and Blythe Obar really living up to it. It's a free kick here. This one's going to get into the box, to your point, but MJ Cox is going to repel that via the header. McFarland goes up. Abels. Augustin. Mueller. Mueller with the ball into the box. Again, it's headed away by Cox. Second ball is picked up. Shot lashed over the top. That was a decent chance for Baylor. They picked up a second ball, and it was Ashley Merrill, who you were just speaking about.
For Baylor, she's had the most dangerous chances all year long. Has had a couple that could have been game changers. You just saw her there anticipate this drop down really well. She saw it go up and she knew it was coming down to the floor, and she got on top of it and it just bounced up on her.
This is Warden trying to break through. She's going to knock it forward. Here's Byers. Abels will knock it back. It's knocked towards the halfway line here by Baylor. We're ticking down towards 10 minutes left here. Glenn Davis, Jessica Stamp, Longhorn Network. Texas a 1-0 lead over Baylor. Number 21 in the country came in at 7-1-3 tonight, 1-0-1 in the Big 12. But have gotten a very, very game Baylor here tonight, led by their new first-year coach, Michelle Leonard. Warden. Byers. And again, tackled away. We got to say that Baylor has done a very good job on Trinity Byers here tonight, taking the edge off her sword. They've dulled her a bit. She's certainly been kept out of the Baylor box for a variety of reasons. I think you and I are impressed almost each and every year about just the quality of the freshman that comes into the college game. Ward. Sophomores are good too. Holly Ward now. Stop and go, still Ward. And goes out for the goal kick. Well, Baylor, if they want to cap a good performance here against Texas tonight, will need to produce a goal. So Blythe Obar is going to make her way back on, number 13 in midfield. Koyman as well, and Baylor will try to make a push here. Meanwhile, Texas look to manage this game out here tonight and pick up a second win in Big 12 conference play. Good look at Blythe Obar. Last year at the Division II National Championships was picked on the all-tournament team with Dallas Baptist before transferring here to Baylor. And of course, they lost in the semifinals. Byers. And a beautifully weighted pass out wide here to Holly Ward. Shimkin. Nobles. Nobles just taking it to the corner flag here with around 7 minutes left. Might be too early to think about that.
She didn't have any options, though. So she was looking around to pass at first, and then she didn't know what to do, so she went to that corner, kill some time.
Here's Shimkins. Byer now. Byers has gotten turned. She's so good at getting turned and facing defenses. It's a shot from longer range, parried over the top. Ahern with a good offering there, and an equally good save there from Lauren Trawick.
Remember, Trawick has not been challenged much at all this half, and she had to be on her toes for this one. She was out a little bit, and that could have dipped up over, but she was able to get up, get all of the ball, and push it over the net. Nice look there, though, that shot at the top of the box.
By the way, only the second appearance of the year for Olivia Ahern, and that was a real tester from her. Texas off the corner, in it comes. Boy, MJ Cox got a run at it, but couldn't steer it on target. Out for the goal kick for Baylor. Time running out here. Under 6 minutes left at Mike A. Myers Stadium in Austin, Texas. Longhorns, 28th minute lead. Trinity Byers, the lone goal here. Good overlapping run. It's Baylor. They square it back. It's Koyman off the turn, tried to toe poke it, doesn't get enough power on it. And in the end, that's the story. You just have not had the finish. Ahern back to Holly Ward. Shot from longer range is over the top.
So end to end here once again. Patterson drives end line. Really good ball across. Lots of Longhorns, but look at that turn by Elizabeth Koyman, kind of being unpredictable. Looked like she might lay that off. And then all the way on the other end, too, Shimkin was able to get it out wide after Byers had dribbled again laterally across the box, found her, but didn't quite connect on that one. So it was really just within the last few minutes that Texas had those shots.
That's Savannah Madden with 8 saves. That's a season high. Ward keeps possession. Brooks will get an early cross in here. And it's Trinity Byers, someone you would want on the ball in these stages of the game. Get so many good decisions from her. Byers trying to work defensively, but breaking out of there with Zobar. You saw the passion there of Michelle Leonard. Based on this season, though, this may be kind of a platform game for you.
It's kind of interesting because,
regardless of the result.
Yeah, the last game they lost and quite arguably could have been their worst performance of the year. And then this game, the way things are going, they're going to lose as well, but it might be their best performance of the year so far. And Coach Leonard says really her eyes are on the future. So ultimately she'll be way more pleased with this performance today and the growth that they've had and the coachability that they've had over this last week. They didn't take that Oklahoma game and get down on themselves and say, we're not good enough, you know, we can't do this. They did the opposite. They took her critiques and her coaching and made adjustments. And she said that's what she's trying to develop, is thinkers, kids that are going to evolve their game and want to evolve their game. So I think what's kind of unusual about this potential loss, if they can't find a goal, is she's going to be really proud of the strides they made and the character they showed over this last week.
Yeah, laying the groundwork for the future. And not easy, too, when collegiate players are used to another coach that they've had for a long time in Paul Jobson. You're now trying to change the system. You're putting some differing values into your game as a coach. And to getting a group to lead and follow is not always an easy thing for a coach in year one, who's also got to prove herself to players, and it certainly seems like it's working pretty well here tonight.
Especially if it's not translating into results. It's much easier to buy into a new coach's ideas and philosophies when you're winning, but when you're not getting the results, it's harder to stay invested.
Koyman. Madden living on the edge here, wants to do a little entertaining here. Took it off her chest and then plays it with her feet. Byers, which that's a familiar area. We've seen her receiving the ball here tonight. Not been able to get her the ball in and around the box deep enough. Again, this is Obar, and boy, she's got a little jump and a change of pace. Kind of drive things forward here out of midfield. She's been impressive. Koyman trying to lay it off. Offside flag is up.
1 minute.
Under a minute left. Second largest crowd of the year here, 3,130. Tremendous attendance here. And it's really added to the atmosphere. A lot of young youth soccer players too, which is also nice.
It's been a great game to watch too. A lot of things to kind of dissect. Yeah, Texas isn't playing their best right now, and they are missing kind of one of their stars, and I'm sure a lot of the crowd would love to see. But it still has been a really good game, I think, of college soccer.
Tackled away from Nobles. And that is going to do it. Texas is going to hold on here. They're going to get a 28th minute goal from Trinity Byers. That will be the difference. Angela Kelly, unbeaten 15 of the last 16 at home. Impressive performance from Baylor, but Texas in the end will get the result courtesy of that young lady, Trinity Byers.
Well, I think it's exactly that. You have a talent like Trinity Byers who's stepping up for her team when they need her most in these last few weeks here. And she's doing what she was recruited to do, which is put goals into the back of the net for Texas, even when they're not playing their best. And the best teams find ways to win, and Texas, I think, is at the top of the table in terms of the expectations coming out of the Big 12.
They will go to 2-0-1 in the Big 12. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up.